And I thought, because I've been so behind and had such a heck of a year, I think we all have at this point, but considering how late I am, I thought I missed the premiere date for this series, but I didn't. Turns out neXt comes out in 2020, and because we watched some of the trailers just in 2019, why not have another round? I'm very excited to watch this. I've been absolutely ecstatic to watch this show. Now, there's a lot of television out there, and I do see that this show, by comparison, isn't being talked about as much. Why? I have no idea. But it totally should be. It fits so well into the modern digital age. Like, it's a missing puzzle piece where AI run amok. And you know how much I hate AI technology and all the digital assistants, like all this type of stuff. It's really unnecessary to society. We don't need it. We've really become subjects to our own creations. What's going to happen in the future? I mean, you're going to have a next scenario. I think probably starting with all those Alexa devices. Yes, I hate her. And I don't take that back for a second. I hate Alexa. But you're probably looking at a future where human beings are no longer self-sufficient. Probably much sooner than later. And who's going to rule in our place? It's not the human beings. It's the technology that we created. I mean, anybody else feel like this is a familiar scenario? We've already seen this in film extensively. Age of Ultron, Terminator. Have we not learned yet? Nothing goes well when you become too reliant on technology. And let Eliza come into the party, right? I'd rather think of Eliza as Alexa. She's pretty much the same thing, although she's got a nicer design. But we can spread the hate out a bit. Yes, I really do. Again, as much as I really hate Alexa, I hate all AI. And I'm not somebody that really uses AI I really never have. I do sometimes occasionally, but it's not for the use you think. I live in a state that, actually, this is the only practical use for it. I live in a state where it's illegal to operate a phone when you drive, but there's an option on the iPhone, but although you have to yell in your car to make it hear you. But I sit there literally, it's easier than, the way I have my music plugged in, I have to plug it in through an auxiliary cord that I stick in my cassette player. I just buy it at the store. It's got the little cable attached. You plug it to where your headphone jack would normally be. And then you just play music straight from your phone. I don't have CDs. I don't usually listen to the radio. I usually listen to my own music. But in order to change the track, you can't just press a button like you would on a normal car dashboard. So in my case, I usually have to close the window before I do this because I'm sitting there thinking some person's going to think I'm on drugs or something. But I'm sitting there in the car yelling at my phone, "Hey Siri, switch track." But it's the only good use for it, right? I'm not committing a crime and I get what I want, even though I have to go in a really unorthodox way to do it. But I guess that's the use. But I'll still tell you, I hate AI. I hate the fact that it exists because I see the problems. It's not been the best innovation for society. If we keep giving control that we should have as human beings over to things that we can't even see. It's really funny to me when I look at all the digital world. We've given over so much to this neversphere that is so intangible. Even with streaming, I cover streaming service programs and everything like that extensively. But I'll tell you, I hate, and I saw a report on this the other day, it drives me insane now that Disney's talking about some of our movies will be aired on physical copies. I think specifically they mentioned 4K, but I'm guessing it's going to entail DVDs and Blu-ray sales. And it's honestly, so now what? We're all stuck in the digital age? I pretty much buy all my movies on a physical copy. I don't buy them digitally. I sometimes rent digitally when I've had to cover films in the past, but I need a tangible object. I hate the digital world. I do. I hate how much that we've given away. Once we have it, it's we can't really touch it. It's just sitting on a device somewhere, and it's a bunch of file coding. I don't have the DVD in front of me. I don't have something that I can hold in my hand and say, this is my property. I control this. Instead, it's controlled by some electrical current somewhere. It drives me crazy, but this is the age we're living in. We've, I think, pretty much as human beings forgotten necessary skills. We've given so much over to computer coding. But the question is, you got to think in terms, especially, I know people don't do this these days, it's all about the present. It's all about the now, the temporary. But we got to think in terms of the next generation, because what are we going to set them up with? I mean, I'm looking at most of the kids in the world today, and it's how many skills did you not learn? Even I'm looking around, I'm wow, I was really shorthanded. Thanks, digital age. Thank you, technology. But yeah, you got to think in terms of next generation. And I think when it comes to most of the big tech oligarchs out there, and just as generally our culture, continuing to look at everything in the now. What will satisfy my needs at this moment? The age of now and the age of convenience, however you look at it, it's quickly become a problem. And the AI stuff is not helping. It's just making it worse. So we've created a device that potentially could control us later on. And that's what neXt is about. Beautifully so. This is a great warning to a horrible future that could come probably much sooner than expected. So, of course, I'm excited for the show, right? It is a warning. It's a very realistic show, and I like these types of things. But I'm going to let all that Alexa hatred flow right through me when I watch this, because it's right up my alley. Okay, let's take a look at the all-new trailer. I'm so excited to watch it. New stuff for neXt. I'm always looking to help promote this series, because I'm really excited, and nobody talks about it. Okay, as always, we're going to watch this first, and we're going to talk about it more in my condensed use of us watching the video together. Let's give it a whirl. I can't wait to... We get to go recount this in 2020. I'm so excited.
If someone knew everything about you...
It's got a great cast,
all
too.
your secrets, and they could use them against you, would you let them into your life?
See the problem?
Of course not. The problem is, you already have.
Everything is all connected.
Right?
Right.
Just such a nightmare.
Eliza, she's asking me stuff.
No, Eliza doesn't ask questions. She just answers them.
And once you realize that, you can't
I founded one
unrealize
of the
it.
largest tech companies in the world. So why am I sounding the alarm? Because a lot of smart people think that in the next few years, we will face human-level artificial intelligence, kind that thinks like an actual person.
That is just scary.
Hello, Mr. LeBlanc. I'm neXt. How can I help?
You know my name.
I think it's here.
Mr. LeBlanc, welcome to the Cybercrime Task Force.
What am I doing here?
2 weeks ago, I noticed something strange. I'm almost positive this is not a person. It is not happy that I found it.
Dr. Wise was killed in a series of cyber attacks. This is happening. Until we stop this thing, we're on our own.
There's an AI loose in the world.
Tailor-made to get rid of us. It's in cameras, cell phones, anything with a lens, a mic, or a sensor.
We are so deluded to our temptations.
We need to find neXt and kill it.
You see where I'm going with this?
Not in the slightest.
And then we need to move beyond neXt to a lot of other things in the real world. Get rid of a lot of these programming things. They're just...
paranoid.
No, I don't.
What are you doing?
Mind your own business.
There's nothing there.
This thing is coming for all of us.
Don't tell me you don't believe me.
I don't know what to believe right now.
He's not stable.
It's going to kill millions of people.
It's not paranoia. It's
It's
awareness.
after my family.
If you can't get
Everybody
to
else in the
physically,
world
you
thinks
can
you're
get to
crazy
emotionally.
until you realize, oh no, wait a minute,
trust
maybe
me.
there is some truth to this.
There really isn't anywhere that's safe, is there?
I'm afraid there isn't.
It's a very beautiful track they picked, by the way.
Are you kidding me?
I promise I'll get you another one. I think I own half this company.
Great. Next time we take your car.
Like, okay, well, if we're taking my car next, we're going full throttle there. See, that looked really good. I'm very excited to watch this series. Again, it's an effective warning. And I know probably people are looking at me like, yo, you're probably just another one of those people that, is just crazy about, all the stuff that technology could possibly do, right? You've seen too many sci-fi movies, they're fiction. No, they're not. There's an element of truth to all of it. And look at what AI is, look at how much we already have now. And the fact that they show, I love how they did this, by the way, in the trailer. So many images with one after the other of all these technological devices. You're considering the fact that this nebulous tube thing has control of all of it. It can be all connected to your phone, to your tablet. It's kind of like the device that was in the parental guidance movie, the Our Life. I wonder if I can get well, there's not really a picture of it I can pull up. I mean, pull up maybe a couple scenes to reference it. But and I thought it was cool back then, right? Because now you look at, but when I wasn't watching as many sci-fi films as I do now about this whole thing. But once you see it in a new light, you're like, a device that can control my cereal, my, laundry. But now it's even moved beyond like electronic dryers like that. Now we have all this stuff this is, I think, what drives me crazy. I'm fine with like technological innovations like, the working washer and dishwasher. I appreciate this, like the oven, the microwave, but why does everything like need to be Wi-Fi enabled? That'd be a great solution here. You want to disconnect her, get rid of the Wi-Fi connection, get rid of the cellular connection, whatever you have to do. Disconnect. But everything is connected. Everything is controlled. And once it's more than just now we're at the point, and people talk to me about the dangers of hacking and things like that. But we're well beyond that. I mean, if we're creating all this stuff at a rapid speed, and we're creating devices that can outthink, human beings, or that you could reach them beyond where we were and continually adapt in knowledge, what are you looking at like in a year from now, in 10 years from now? It's scary to think about. But yet we don't learn. We see these types of things, and then there's all the other people, who see things like me too, and then the rest of the world's like, oh, you're all crazy, you're all too superstitious. I'll be superstitious. I'm happy being superstitious because I can see the relevancy in this. I can see where society's going. It's a problem. And next, it's very nicely sounding the alarm. It's going to be a very entertaining thriller series, I'm sure. But at the same time, it should serve as a warning and a reminder. Maybe being disconnected in life, going back a couple years to when they didn't have all these conveniences, maybe it's not such a bad thing. Maybe it's nice to be a bit disconnected from the world. Maybe it's not a bad thing. Culture will say, oh, no, it's not. Everybody needs to be connected 24/7 to one another. No, we don't. No, we don't. We all could use a bit of isolation. We can all also use a bit of self-sufficiency. And that is something the AI does not give us. So thank you, NEXT. You are a great reminder to society of where we should be. But what do you guys think where we should not go? If we stop now, right? I don't know. I don't think the dominant culture is going to allow us to do that, right? We just keep moving at such a rapid speed. We don't have time to think. But I hope and pray that we learn. Maybe we can benefit from NEXT. What do you guys think about NEXT? Again, I'm happy to continue covering this series. That means it gets more coverage and more people start talking about the possibilities that come with constantly adapting technology. Of course, I'll be willing to sound the alarm. Feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget all the good stuff, but like and share, hitting that bell. And until our next, I don't know if we're going to get a Never trailer for NEXT. I'm sure we'll get a film in the future, or maybe a Never television show with dangerous AI on the loose. And of course, I'll look forward to sounding the alarm again, because society constantly needs to be reminded of these things. But until whatever video we get to look at next. Thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Yourselves, your fellow man. God bless and peace.